Hey friends, hi guys, Kenya Journey here, back with another YouTube video. I am excited. I know it's quarantine time and everyone's just kind of freaking out and stressed out about this and not partying or not be able to see their friends or not having enough toilet paper or whatever, but just so you know, like, stay calm, because if we keep stressing about it and we keep panicking, it's only going to make the situation worse. If you keep stressing about it too much, just make the best of it. At the end of the day, this is temporary. So yeah, but anyways, so yes, the topic I wanted to discuss with you guys today is friendship. That's definitely the topic, something I've always wanted to talk about. I just kind of wanted to get out there. I'm just gonna get right into it. So a lot of times, people are very fake, and you just can't trust anybody nowadays. Especially in this new generation, everyone is just kind of looking out for themselves. People are very selfish with their time, energy, money, anything like that. And it's really hard nowadays to find someone that you call as like a close friend. You know what I mean? It's really hard. Like I said, like people are only they're only looking out for themselves. Which is all fine and dandy, but it's like I said, it's hard to find like a true friend that's genuine. That'll always be there for you and stuff like that. Many times people tend to only gravitate towards who is benefiting them. Not a lot of people talk about, like, they only get to the basic of, oh, she's a fake friend if she smiles behind your back but talks shit about you. But some people, they only are friends with you, it benefits them. Like if you have something good going for yourself, they gravitate towards that. They're like, oh my god, she's doing so good. Maybe they're jealous off of it. I want to get some information to see how she's doing it or something. Who knows? Or it could be the opposite too. Like maybe they're a Debbie Downer and maybe their life is not going so good, so they have to ruin it and try to bring you down into their hole so you could feel what they're going through too. They don't want to see you happy. There are friendships like that, or people like that too. um, some people some people don't like to be uh, isolated. They don't like to be alone, and they find a friend or they find someone that is carefree, that is fun, that likes to party, stuff like that, to kind of get away from like whatever emotion or whatever situation they're going through. So for example, like if, for say they, I don't know, um, they're going through a tough time at home, who knows, like, and they don't really, like, some people are not really they just want to be left alone. Some people, but yeah, some people just want to be that person that's just like, you know, um, that's there for them and stuff like that. There's other friendships where, you know, um, you might be, like I said, coming from personal experience, but you might be a really good friend to them, and you give them advice, boy advice, or whatever it is, and then they take your advice or they listen to you, and as soon as they don't need you anymore, then it's like, okay, bye, I'm gone, deuces, like, I'm out. So at the end of the day, like, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that not everyone you should call a friend. Not everyone is a friend to you, and that's something that I had to learn the hard way. When I was younger, not younger because I am young, but when I was, like a few years ago, I was kind of naive to friendship. I was very forgiving, which I still am, but my guard is a little bit more up now. But I was also just, like, oh, like, everyone is like me and everyone's gonna do this and everyone's gonna do that. No, Not everyone is like not like you, and that's one thing that you have to get out of your head. Not everyone is gonna think like you, not everyone acts like you, not everyone is like that. You know, some people are just very mean, you know, very, very mean. Like, for example, I've had a situation where, you know, you would have a friend and then you would just be so shocked about how she moved like this or how she treated you or something. And you're like, "Ah, what? I would never do that to her. Never." And you have to think, like, you know, you can't expect a lot from people. And that's, like I said, that's another thing that, like, I'm really trying to, like, you know, learn myself. So I should be taking my own advice. But yeah, so yeah, you just really cannot expect a lot from people, you know. Um, you know, it's sad to say, but like I said, everyone's here for themselves, and you know, everyone only does what benefits them. I'm not saying everyone is like that, but I'm just saying that, you know, it happens. You know, people are just, that's just how people are, you know. And it's up to you if you want to end the friendship or put them in a separate category, you know. Like maybe you see, okay, maybe all they do is party, and you know, you can't talk to them about certain stuff, you can't talk to them about, you know, relationships or business or something like that. You know, maybe you would just have to leave them and just party with them, you know. So, and this is coming from me raw and, you know, unfiltered, you know, this is just coming from opinion. But that's just my opinion. You know, so whatever you want to do, but you just really have to be aware of things nowadays. You know, people take people for granted. You just never know. You just really have to be careful and watch how you what you say around people. You have to watch how you you know, interact with people. Like, be very observant, because you just never know. And I'm not saying like everyone's like this, but I'm just saying, like, people nowadays are just, you can't trust anybody. Like I said in my last video, like when I did my last video on depression, you know, you cannot trust people. Like, whenever you talk to people about your problems and stuff like that, you can't just talk to everyone about your problems. You just can't. Like, you know, people use that shit against you. You know, they'll use that and they'll judge you, and they'll mock you about it. You know, and like I said, coming from personal experience, sometimes you just have to either you know, go seek a counsel, or, you know, find someone, a trusted adult or someone you can go talk to about you know, situations, because like I said, not everybody you can talk to, not everybody. People are, you know, some people are very, you know, very fake nowadays. People will, you know, pretend they're supportive and pretend they have your best interest at heart, and they might even go above and beyond and like throwing you like a party or something like that, not knowing that, you know, they talk shit about you, and they low-key want your life. You just never know. You never really know. You know, I do want to say one more thing before I close, but you know, friendship is something that a lot of people take for granted. You know, same thing like a relationship, right? You know, nowadays people are just kind of going into relationships after relationships because they just want to get into a relationship, or you know, they want to find a rebound or something like that. And I feel like friendship is like that too. You know, people are just going into friendships. Oh, she's my best friend. Oh, she's my best friend. Oh, he's my best friend. It's just like, you know, not everyone's your best friend, you know. Not everyone is your best friend. And I don't know where the fuck I was going with this, but yeah. I don't know where I was going with this. But yeah, so yeah, not everyone you should call a friend, you know. Me, it still takes a lot for me now, because me, I was the girl that was always like, yeah, she's my bestie, yeah, she's like my sister, and blah blah blah. You have to stop and think to yourself and be like, okay, you know, you call her your best friend, right? You call her friend, your friend. You call him your friend. You call him your best friend. How does that person hold value into your life? You know, does the pros outweigh the cons? Do the cons outweigh the pros? Like, you know, what's you gotta think about stuff like that. You know, if they're too toxic to your life, then you gotta cut them out. You know, it ain't nothing. Cut that off, like K Camp said. But yeah, so yeah, that's all I have to say. And just do you, boo. Just do you. You know, like, at the end of the day, you know, if no one is appreciative of your friendship or anything like that, you know, don't, you know. And at the end of the day too, you know, a lot of times friendships, people, you know, they just kind of don't warn you and they just kind of cut you off. You know, they're just so quick to cut you off. And if that case, if they're so quick to cut you off, boo, they were never your friend in the beginning. You know, they are never your friend. So, because a real friend won't do that. A real friend will sit down and will talk to you about whatever situation and go from there, you know. So that's all I have to say. It's a quick little video. I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that, you know, because even me, I'm kind of, you know, having a difficult time because I am a nice person. I am very forgiving. I have to take my own advice, but I have to know and learn too, like, you know, you just gotta let it go. Just let it go, you know, just let it go. But thanks so much for watching my video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I can never say this. In the subscription box below. Okay, there we go. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. And always remember that nobody will love you more than you love yourself. Bye, friends.